Mulligans and Hackers Golf, special guest podcast number 2. I'm Chris, we got Alvin, and we got our special guest Kerry from Red Rooster Golf. Thanks for joining us today, Kerry.
Hey guys, yeah, my treat.
So buddy, first off, where did the name Red Rooster Golf come from?
That's my nickname.
Red Rooster?
Yeah, I have 2 redhead girls, and they don't think I have red hair anymore. I still have to wear heavy sunscreen, but it has faded. But yeah, when I was growing up, I was a carrot top, and my dad used to call me the Red Rooster. I have 3 other brothers and a sister, and everybody's got dark hair, dark complexion. So I was sort of stood out in the family, and that was my nickname. And that's kind of been my go-to moniker. And we tried to come up with all kinds of different golf-y names and different, you guys are a great example, Mulligans and Hackers, and there's every sort of thing. And we decided to try and do something that was somewhat personal, but also it fit with our concept. Our idea is, wake up in particular your golf glove game. We're going to kind of start with gloves, and we do think it's just one of those things where it's like you do kind of have to wake up. It's actually a really important piece of equipment, and most people, I put myself in that category, just didn't give them enough thought.
Yeah, I could agree. I can agree with that. I love the name. Actually, I jumped on and I got ordered 2 gloves from you towards the end of the year. And I got one, and then I ended up getting a second one, and the little glove compartment. I only had time. I think I used it for 1 round, but I do love how they feel.
Yeah, I tried them on too. I thought they were great.
Yeah, we're really happy with the product. I mean, we worked with a lot of different manufacturers. We tried all kinds of different thickness of leather. Like we went with really high grade. That was sort of the easy part, and you knew you wanted to go with a really high grade. And then it's just about like how thick or thin do you want it. And it's sort of the thinner you go, the softer it is, but also like the easier it tears, and the less it will wear. So for a tour level player, someone of Brad's caliber, the thinner is better in their category. They might just, they're almost disposable for them, right? I mean, they'll play a round or 2. We knew that we had to kind of find that happy medium. We wanted it to feel really soft, but it had to last a few extra rounds. So I'll be interested. I think first impression's good. It is soft. It is really high quality, but they've been holding up. We've been hearing from a lot of folks who used them this summer who've still got them in use. So it'd be interested in your feedback after a few more rounds.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, I used it for 1 round, and for me, using some of the old, like the normal gloves or the main name brand ones on, I find that I use them, for 5-6 rounds, and then they start ripping and tearing, and they're not quite the same. And a guy who, like the way I grip the golf club, sometimes my with an overlap grip, sometimes it'll roll the golf club, and then I'll have rips in certain spots. But yours, after 1 round, held up really nice. I'm excited to see what it does next year, and I think Alvin will be the same way once he gets some.
Great. Yeah, let me know. I mean, part of that is the durability, and I think you touched on the glove case. Like that's the other thing is, where do you put your glove after a round or even during the round? So that's I've got like product shot here, but I've got, my case, and this has actually been the product that I'm probably, as excited about this product as I am about the gloves, because that was the thing. Like when I'm wearing my glove during the round and it's heating up, I'll often switch between a couple of gloves. So this gives me a great spot, just hanging on the bag, to just hang it there to kind of dry out, and I can have 2 on the go at a time. And then after the round, to be able to put them in here once they're dry to keep them flat. Because otherwise, I'd use like Ziploc bags and different things, but ultimately they end up in the bottom of your bag. They end up getting rolled up, and then they just don't last as long. So, if you can keep them dry and you can keep them flat, then you'll get more rounds out of them. So that's the glove cases come in really handy for that. It's been a kind of nice eye opener that it's worked out better than we'd hoped, actually.
Yeah, they're well.
So it
well
started
built.
off as a Kickstarter.
Yeah, that was one of the items that we added. It was an add-on in the Kickstarter, and we had 1,000 supporters and nearly 500. So almost half the people who bought gloves bought a glove case.
Wow.
Nice.
And we had anticipated it would be 15 or 20%. We would have been happy with that. So that was really eye-opening for us. So we had to kind of like double down on that order, but also just the products turned out better. And I've been using the prototype since the spring, and I was like, wow, I was amazed at just how just thinking about like, what did I use before? I used to hang them on different parts of my bag, put the Velcro on different things. And now this is just a great way to like keep them flat. I think that's the key. You keep them flat and you keep them dry. You get a lot more rounds out of them. As soon as they get wet and they curl up and stuff, you've kind of lost them,
Yep.
And they don't come back.
So how's it growing? Like where do you plan on going with Red Rooster golf clubs?
Well, we started with what we call the classic line. It was 5 different styles. It was a white. We came up with this funky black thumb glove that it turned out to be our second most popular. And then we went a little bold with the black and the red, and the gray turned out beautiful.
I spent my entire summer looking for a black golf glove.
Okay.
I didn't.
Well, you'll be happy to know. Actually, starting tomorrow, our Black Friday sale is our black gloves, and we've got another style of glove. It's called the Brahma, but it's like a mix of a dark gray with like black features. But this is a great glove like for like fall. You don't think about like a July getting your black glove out, but it's a nice kind of like fall or like special event, or if you've got that like dark outfit. So those turned out great. And then we've come up with a number of other gloves that we think really round out the line. We've got a Red Rooster. It's a glove that has extra durability. So it's made out of a stretchy synthetic. That's meant for kind of long range sessions, pounding balls, warm up, save the beautiful soft leather gloves for the important grounds. And then we came up with a couple of other gloves. One's called a Silky and the other's a Cape, and they have some stretch in the knuckles, so they can they can fit a little bit bigger. Our gloves only go to an XL size, so some of our double XLs have been able to use those, and just it's a different fit. Those need like a bit of a wider palm or just like a little bit of extra stretch. And then of course we got our kids gloves. So I mean, this is both the glove that, when you buy a glove, this is the glove that's donated to junior golf. Comes in 4 different sizes, right and left-handed, but we also sell this glove. So we produce some extras, because this is the one thing that this is one of the reasons why we started the company. Was I had a hard time finding gloves for my daughters, just finding the right sizing. And I think it's really hard for retailers to even keep kids' sizes on hand, especially at different times. And so we came up with something. Again, it's a really stretchy, it's got some nice spandex in the knuckle, and super durable, so meant to last a long time. Kids in leather golf gloves, that's going to be a waste, I think, to start. It's just a great glove that, this glove should last them the whole summer. So that's another product. So that's kind of where we're going. Is we want to round out the line so that we've got a glove that kind of fits every budget and every need and every season. We're even working on a rain glove, the Red Rooster.
Nice. You had said you had mentioned there that you donate gloves when someone buys a glove. Where do those gloves go to, in youth specific?
Yeah, so we've got a number of, we call them our Play It Forward partners. So the First Tee of Ontario. We've got a partnership with the Kevin Hayne Golf Center, a local Ottawa Play It Forward partner, and we've got a couple of partners in the United States. We're working with the First Tee of Raleigh Durham, and we're in talks with a couple of other partners right now. We're hoping to just finalize those MOUs, and we're working with some smaller groups as well. Working with this amazing outfit out of Kentucky, who we've just donated a couple dozen gloves over the last. They had a couple of events. We're actually going to be taking applications on our website soon, just for different organizations that think they're a fit. We're really looking for organizations that are introducing kids to the game for the first time. That's our main focus. It's not that we wouldn't get outside of that, but the fit isn't meant to be like at a competitive tournament where kids have been playing golf for a while and they get one of these. It's meant to be, hey, you're new to the game, you actually don't know you even wear a glove, and it's meant to be a bit of a surprise and delight. So even though we've got some bigger partners who've taken a lot of the gloves, we've donated 2,500 gloves so far, but we are looking for smaller groups. So even a few dozen gloves to the right group at the right time can in some cases be an even better fit for us. Our main goal with that program is we want to keep the gloves in the community where they're generated. So the Kevin Hayne partnership, we're out of Ottawa, where we had tremendous support in town here. My business partner, Brad, is from Ottawa. I live here. And so we got incredible support here. So we wanted to find a partner who could literally, use the gloves in Ottawa. And I think as we expand, if we get great support, in different parts of the country, we've had, good support in British Columbia, decent support in Alberta, a little bit of support in the prairies and a little bit out east. But as we expand that out, really good support in Quebec, actually, and especially Montreal area. So as we get sales in those regions, that's where we want the gloves to stay. So we'll sort of proactively go out and do some looking on our own, but we're also, if anyone gives us a ring and they have a good fit and we're selling gloves in that area, we'd love for them to stay in that region.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
So have you heard of the Youth on Course throughout Canada? Is that something that, like, wouldn't you guys be like a match made in heaven?
You would think that would be a great fit. I'm really familiar with, the two organizations that came to mind right away were Youth on Course and the First Tee. First Tee is just kind of getting its footprint into Canada. I think Youth on Course to some degree as well. It's established in the United States for years and been.
I signed my daughter up for Youth on Course this year.
Oh, great. So hopefully that we can, open those doors. Sometimes like the sort of better organized organizations are easier to work with, and sometimes it's harder because there's boards of directors and there's things that need to be done. We're pretty flexible and nimble, but sometimes if there's hoops to be jumped through, it may be more of a 22 initiative, but there's no opportunity right now that we're turning down, other than I think we have had a few requests from, I would say like elite level, and we just felt like, maybe that's not the spot that's going to value the glove the most. I said, like, I would hate to, like, I love this glove, I'm super proud of it, but maybe some elite player who's playing in the Canadian Junior or is on a scholarship isn't maybe going to value this, and so that's maybe not the right fit. So it's finding grassroots organizations that are just getting kids into the game for the first time. Youth on Course, First Tee were kind of the first two that came to mind.
That's awesome. How many gloves have you guys donated up to this point?
2,500, a little over 2,500.
Wow. And what's the time frame on that? Like just the last year or 2 years?
That was largely from the Kickstarter. I mean,
okay.
So that was largely from the Kickstarter, and we finished fulfilling that in it was probably late September. And then we figured like that was it for our season, you know, and then sales have been pretty steady, and we're gearing up for Black Friday and some Christmas sales. And we've sort of heard anecdotally within the, you know, the industry that, you know, golf gloves can also be one of those things that sometimes, you know, are sell fairly well year round, especially with, you know, indoor golf and TrackMans and trips, and, you know, it isn't just that summer season. So we'll see. We're constantly kind of looking for partners that we can get these gloves in their hands. We sort of pre-ordered a lot of gloves in anticipation of a strong kind of Christmas season, and we'll continue to seek out and build those partners who kind of got on board with us early. We're really, you know, super appreciative, in particular First Tee Ontario and First Tee of Raleigh Durham. You know, we just came to them with an idea, and it's easier now when people can see that we can actually deliver and we actually have the gloves. But before, you know, they were really taking a chance on us. So we really appreciate them. We're sort of indebted.
I was going to ask you about how's the logistics been in actually getting golf gloves, because we know supply chain, when the industries that me and Chris are in, supply chain is quite an issue right now. How's that been?
I mean, it's been huge hurdles, you name it. First, it was getting the leather was a huge challenge. First, it was just sort of getting your hands on it, and then leather was in short supply, and then it was shipping, and and then it was COVID. I mean, so we produce these gloves. They're all hand sewn in Indonesia. So I did a trip around this time last year and visited the different factories, and, you know, gloves are being turned around in 60-day cycles, and now they're being turned around in, you know, 260-day cycles. So, you know, you're putting in orders right now for the middle of next summer. So that a lot of that has really changed, and just even Indonesia is still under a lockdown. Their factories are only operating at 50%. So it's just been a myriad of challenges, all of the challenges that, you know, of the supply chain in general, but also it's not as bad. You know, I hear of some industry that are, you know, backlogged months, and we got out after it pretty quickly. Like, even for our Kickstarter, we had pre-ordered, you know, tens of thousands of gloves in anticipation of doing fairly well. So we kind of bet on ourselves, and luckily we did, because if we were, you know, just sitting waiting to see, you know, if there'd be support there, we would have been chasing it even harder. But even with that pre-planning, everything, you know, timelines doubled, costs increased, sort of you name it, we experienced it to some degree. And yet, talking to some other folks in the industry, you know, it could be worse. So we're pretty thankful for where we're at. We're in really good shape for next year. We had anticipated that we could have sort of pivoted off our Kickstarter and caught more of the summer season, and that turns out wasn't possible.
Looks like Galvin might have had some technical difficulties. Hopefully he'll be back in a minute. Well, that's yeah, no, that's great. Great to hear. So are you playing much golf these days?
I always say that I could always play more, but I'm a member at the Royal Ottawa, and they've got 27 holes. So it's great because we call it Royal 9. It's sort of like an executive 9, and it's there's often some availability there. We got amazing new facility there with TrackMan range. And so I like to get over and kind of get my fix. I play men's night, and I've done a little bit of travel, got in a little bit of travel recently with Brad down in North Carolina, playing with some folks who supported us during the campaign there. So I had a good summer, played a lot, and like I said, could always play more, and had a really special trip with my brother and and Dad, we did Cabot a couple of weeks ago, and that's just it's really, I mean, you know, bucket list. It's just a really magical place.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, buddy, one of the questions I always like to ask, what's in the bag? What are you playing?
I've got the Ping eye blades. I'm a Ping guy. I got the Ping G410 driver. I got an old Ping 3-wood. I think it's like the I-25, and playing a TaylorMade hybrid, and then I've got the TaylorMade wedges. So and an old Odyssey putter. Putting left-hand low these days. Putting's been a struggle. But I'm pretty happy with my gear. I'm going to try to see what I can. I'm hitting the ball in way too high. So it was great playing with Brad. He was prepping for the second stage of Q school, and just getting to play with him for a few days and watching how he prepares and just how he kind of manages himself around the course. Got a few tips, so a few things to work on for the winter.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Well, buddy, I think we're good.
Yeah, unless there's anything else Kerry wants to talk about. Do you got anything else that you want to chat about, Kerry? You got any, you're mentioning some Black Friday sales coming up. When's that happening for you guys?
Midnight tonight. So,
midnight tonight.
Yeah, if you're on our email list, yeah, we're doing this is all new for us, and just the whole Black Friday push. So we thought we'd make a push for some of our we say welcome to the dark side. So it's all of our black products. So we've got our black hats and black glove case, and our black featured gloves. So it's the Brahma that has the dark gray with the black features, and our the saddle, which is our black glove. So those are all going to be 20% off for the next couple of weeks. And then we're working on some Christmas bundles. So some great ways to put like a glove with a glove case or with a hat and so on, and get them beautifully packaged and under the tree for that special, golfer in the family.
Perfect. Where can people find your product at? Do you got a website, social media that we can shout out for you?
Yeah, everything's at redroostergolf.com. That's our Shopify site, or all of our social handles are at Red Rooster Golf. So yeah, follow us and check us out. And we'd love to hear from you, and appreciate the interest, guys. And let's keep in touch. We'd love to hear how the products hold up. And I guess the snow will be flying soon, so stay warm.
Yeah, snow will be flying soon for us. We'll be hitting the simulators here probably in a little bit. That's the most amount of golf we're gonna get.
Coming on.
Yeah. Again, thank you so much for giving us some of your time and letting us know what Red Rooster Golf is all about.
Anytime, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kerry.
All right. Take care, Kerry.